Following President-elect, now for the second time, Donald Trump's election win on November 5th, many liberal Democrats are saying they need to ditch this woke politics stuff and maybe shift back to traditional issues that get talked about in politics. I think the Democrats are literally not going to be able to do this, as I'll explain in the video. So many Democrats believe in the woke stuff, and so many Democrats also have been pushing it for years.
And everyone has their own pet theory. But there's one theory that a lot of people seem to be coalescing around.
They were too woke, insisting that people use the term Latinx.
Too far to the left on transgender rights.
You have to say they. No, you have to do this.
Stop with the virtue signaling.
Step away from woke. Focus less on who is woke and more on who is broke.
Social justice is...
So, I mean, the Democrats, I really believe, are going to have a very, very difficult time unwinding all this. Like, the fact that they're not going to be able to just go, okay, now everyone, let's focus less on identity politics and go back to immigration or inflation or things like that. So many leading Democrats believe so strongly in identity politics. Listen to John Oliver here talking, who, by the way, has had terrible takes for years, but they were considered popular at the time.
Ads on that one issue. And it was frustrating to see the Harris campaign fail to formulate a response, especially because it's pretty easy to do. Watch, I'll do it for you right now. As we've discussed before, there are vanishingly few trans girls competing in high schools anywhere. Even if there were more, trans kids, like all kids, vary in athletic ability, and there is no evidence they pose any threat to safety or fairness. It is very...
So just because he's rambling this off very quickly does not make it true at all. No threat to fairness. You don't even really need to debunk this whatsoever, to be honest. Many people, though, in the comment sections on X certainly did. It's very easy to. Again, just common sense. There's a clear, massive advantage to somebody that's transitioned. They have a whole bunch of the male biology, etc.
In the indoor season, and then in the outdoor season switched to the girls team. Terry was blowing us girls out of the water. I mean, I remember at the state open championship, and Terry won by like over half a second. So, and like, there's a million stories like that. Somebody who is a biological male is going to have a massive advantage in sports compared to somebody that's a biological female. Just, again, somebody like John Oliver they're stuck in the woke mindset. Good luck trying to get that person to just switch now because you think it's politically more advantageous, or you think you'll win over more votes by de-emphasizing that issue. A person like Sonny Hostin, again, very popular actually in Democratic politics.
That I'd like to reframe the conversation. I think Bernie Sanders is wrong. I think the more relevant question actually is, what is wrong with America? I think what is wrong with our country that the Republican Party would choose as a candidate and support a candidate who is an insurrectionist, who is an election denier, who is someone who is twice impeached, a 34-time convicted felon, someone who has been accused of alleged sexual misconduct by 26 women, found liable for sexual abuse. What is wrong with this country that they would choose a message of divisiveness, of xenophobia, of racism, of misogyny, over a message of inclusiveness, a message for the people, by the people, of the people? That is what the problem is. It's the Republican Party. And what's wrong with America?
What's wrong with America? Xenophobia, sexism, blah, blah, blah. Do you think Sonny Hostin is going to immediately go along with, okay, let's de-emphasize woke identity politics now. Let's shift this because it's better strategy. There's no way. What about all the people that switched over from X basically to a safe space of blue sky? Do you think they're going to be able to be convinced that we don't need to talk about woke politics anymore?
Well, call it the exodus from X. It seems the results of the U.S. election could be pushing more people off the social media platform known once as Twitter, a result of their frustration with the direction of the site since Elon Musk took over. And now Musk, of course, is taking on a more...
So again, do you think these people that essentially want like a safe space where they can just sit and agree with each other, do you think they're going to be able to be easily convinced? I doubt it. By the way, somebody that I think is certainly responsible for the way that the Democratic Party has become so obsessed with identity politics is AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who ironically removed the pronouns from her bio on X. here she is a few years ago talking about Donald Trump.
District.
This tells you that this president's policies are not about immigration, it's about ethnicity and racism.
The president, who faces a growing threat from Iran in a
racism. So that, you think, like AOC, I think AOC is a huge part of why the Democratic Party focuses so much on identity politics. Her rise to stardom was essentially based on hysteria and just drumming up a bunch of division, drumming up a bunch of stuff. It wasn't like, she maybe has a little bit of a progressive take as well on economics, but a ton of her like viral moments are just her shouting about stuff like that, racism, etc. Joy Reid, again, very popular on the Democratic side. Probably one of the only people on MSNBC that at least is like somewhat of a popular name. Listen to her talk. Do you think she is going to be okay with if the Democratic Party stops talking about identity politics? There's no way.
Free advice to the white progressives, particularly white progressive women who may be thinking about marching against the Trump victory, maybe putting back on the P-word hats and doing that thing. I would just say probably don't send any of those invites to any black women you know. I'm just going to tell you right now, they're not coming. Like, I'm pretty sure black women have resigned from the...
So, do you think Joy Reid, again, all these people I've highlighted, you think they're just going to automatically be like, oh, let's focus now on who's broke and not on who's woke? Again, I think that's probably the right move to do. I just think the Democrats are delusional if they think that's going to be an easy switch. I think they're going to have to run it, actually, in my opinion, in 2026 and in 2028. It might take them like getting obliterated in an election, like 45 states losing, something like that, for them to finally shift. I do not think they're at that point yet. I think there's enough Democrats who will try to sell that this election was somewhat close and that they need to kind of double down, triple down on the identity politics stuff. That's what I think. I think it's a losing strategy. I think it'll happen. I already see some people trying to cope by saying that Trump actually is down to like 49.9% of the overall vote when you break it up between like Kamala and all the third parties and stuff like that. We'll see what happens with the final, the totals. But anyway, my main point here is that I think the Democrats are stuck with the woke messaging and just the woke ideology. They are stuck with that, I think, for the next few years at least. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much either way for watching this video. Have a great day.